Have you ever suddenly noticed a faint, unpleasant smell and thought to yourself, could that be me? You're not the only one. And there's no reason to feel ashamed. In today's video, we're exploring 8 unexpected bathroom habits that, according to medical professionals, can make older women smell worse, despite their best efforts to stay clean. Stick around till the end for easy and practical tips that will leave you feeling fresh, self-assured, and deeply connected to your body. Because no matter your age, you deserve to feel radiant and powerful. Before we begin, I'd be grateful if you could give this video a thumbs up. That support helps me continue sharing valuable insights for aging gracefully. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button. Plus, turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video. If you're enjoying this video, comment 1 below. If you're not, type 0, so I know to improve and create something better for you. Let's get into it. Let's begin with an issue that hits close to home: overusing soap in intimate areas. Ladies, allow me to share a personal experience that shifted the way I think about hygiene. Back in the day, I was obsessed with scrubbing every part of my body with loads of scented body washes and soaps. I paid extra attention to my private areas, convinced that vigorous cleaning would lead to superior freshness. I genuinely thought more suds meant better hygiene. And all those floral feminine products on store shelves only reinforced that belief. But here's the thing. No one warned me this approach was doing more harm than good. Not my mom, not my friends, and shockingly, not even my doctor, until much later. The truth is, our intimate areas are naturally self-maintaining. The vagina, in particular, has a complex internal ecosystem of beneficial bacteria and a carefully maintained pH level, typically between 3.8 and 4.5. This balance helps prevent infections and maintain natural health and odor control. It's like a perfectly tuned symphony. Each element plays its role to maintain harmony. When we apply strong soaps, heavily perfumed washes, or even so-called mild feminine cleansers, we disturb that harmony. These products are often full of chemicals and fragrances that can eliminate good bacteria and disrupt the vaginal pH balance. The result? Odors, irritation, or worse, bacterial or yeast infections. Not because we're unclean, but because we've overdone it and upset our body's balance. I learned the hard way after years of dealing with recurring discomfort and confusion about why my cleaning efforts weren't working. Eventually, an open conversation with my gynecologist helped me gain a better understanding. The vagina doesn't need internal washing. It cleans itself naturally with mucus that flushes out debris and bacteria. For the outer area or vulva, warm water is usually sufficient. If you prefer using a cleanser, choose one that's fragrance-free and pH balanced, explicitly made for external intimate use, and apply it sparingly, never inside. Wipes, douches, and sprays may promise freshness, but they often introduce irritants that can lead to dryness or worse. So my advice is, trust your body's rhythm. It knows what it's doing. The less interference, the healthier and fresher you'll feel. And if something seems off or unusual, don't reach for more soap. Reach out to your healthcare provider. Your body is wiser than you may think. Next, let's talk towels. Specifically, how often you wash them. When was the last time you laundered your bath towel? If you have to think about it, you're not alone. I used to hang mine up after a shower and assume it stayed clean because I was clean. But that assumption was far from accurate. The musty odor I started noticing, even after showering, made me realize my towel could be the culprit. Here's why. Towels absorb moisture like sponges and bacteria and fungi thrive in that warm, damp environment. Especially if your bathroom has poor ventilation, your towel becomes a perfect breeding ground for bacteria. Every time you use it, it collects skin bacteria, water, and other debris, and when reused, it transfers those right back onto your freshly cleaned skin. I used to use a towel for a whole week, thinking I was being eco-friendly. It turns out that I was unknowingly compromising my skin's hygiene. Dermatologists recommend washing towels after each use. However, if your bathroom lacks airflow, such as no windows or a weak exhaust fan, it's best to wash them even more frequently, perhaps after every second use. One strategy that helped me was keeping 3 towels in rotation, 1 in use, 1 drying, and 1 clean and ready. This way, I'm never stuck using a damp, bacteria-laden towel. Also, always spread your towel out fully on a rack so it can dry properly. Don't bunch it up or toss it on a hook. And if moisture remains an issue, consider placing a small dehumidifier in your bathroom to keep the area dry. Since adopting this routine, my bathroom smells fresher, my towels are cleaner, and that lingering odor is gone. It's a tiny shift with significant benefits. If you're still watching and finding this video helpful, comment 1 below. Shows me you're with me, and I appreciate your time. Now let's get honest. Feet aren't usually our favorite subject. They're often hidden in socks and shoes, and many of us ignore them. I know I did. My foot hygiene used to be an afterthought. Just letting the shower water run over them and maybe a quick swipe with a soapy cloth. I never really cleaned between the toes or exfoliated properly. I figured if they didn't look dirty, they were fine. However, as I grew older, I began to notice a sour odor emanating from my shoes, even on calm, sweat-free days. It was confusing and embarrassing. Here's what I learned. As we age, our skin's ability to shed dead cells slows down, and feet, especially areas like the heels and between the toes, are prone to buildup. Add in over 250,000 sweat glands, and it becomes clear why feet can become a hidden source of odor. That quick rinse, I thought, was enough, was actually allowing dead skin and moisture to accumulate, providing bacteria with a place to thrive. So, I changed my approach entirely, and the results were amazing. Now, I dedicate at least a full minute to cleaning my feet in every shower. I use a soft cloth and gentle, fragrance-free soap, scrubbing all over, especially the soles, heels, and between each toe. Once a week, I exfoliate gently using a pumice, stone, or foot file to prevent dead skin buildup without irritating the skin. But what made a difference was drying thoroughly. After washing, I use a clean towel and ensure that I get in between each toe to remove any remaining moisture. During warmer months or when wearing closed shoes, I sprinkle antifungal foot powder into my socks and shoes to keep everything fresh. Caring for your feet isn't just about controlling odor. It's about honoring the hard-working parts of your body that carry you through life. Neglect can lead to cracked skin, infections, or even more serious issues, especially for those managing conditions like diabetes. So let's give our feet the attention they deserve. A little care goes a long way in maintaining comfort, cleanliness, and confidence. Now here's something that might sound funny at first: flushing the toilet with the lid open. I'll admit, I laughed when I first heard about the potential consequences, but the research behind it is no joke. When you flush with the lid up, you create what scientists call a toilet plume. This is a spray of microscopic droplets containing bacteria, viruses, and other particles that can shoot into the air at high speed. Studies show that these particles can travel up to 6 feet and remain in the air for an extended period. So what happens to those particles? They land on nearby surfaces. Your toothbrush, skincare bottles, towel, and even your hairbrush. If you're standing nearby, they could land on your skin or be inhaled. And when chemical cleaners or air fresheners are involved, the plume can also carry chemical residues. It's not a pleasant thought, but the fix is straightforward. Just close the lid before flushing. Since I started doing this, I've noticed a fresher-smelling bathroom and fewer issues with strange smells settling on my bathroom items. It's a simple act that prevents the spread of germs and helps your space stay spotless. A lid-down flush is a fast and effective way to maintain better bathroom hygiene. If you're still tuned in and finding this information valuable, please comment too, so I know you're still here. Thank you again for taking the time to speak with me. Lastly, let's discuss a habit many of us have done without thinking, wearing the same underwear to bed. Imagine this. It's the end of a long day. You've changed into your comfy pajamas, and you wonder if you should bother changing. Your underwear, after all, you weren't exercising or sweating, right? It seems harmless enough. But keeping the same pair on from day to night can affect your comfort and hygiene. Throughout the day, your body produces sweat, oil, and sheds skin. Even when you're mostly inactive, these substances, along with bacteria, collect in your underwear. When you sleep in that same pair, you're pressing all that against your skin in a warm, confined space for hours. Ideal conditions for bacteria to multiply and cause odor. If your underwear is made from synthetic materials like polyester, nylon, or spandex, it traps even more moisture. This can lead to skin irritation, discomfort, and an increase in odor by morning. So, what's the solution? Doctors suggest switching to a clean pair of breathable underwear before bed, or going without entirely if you're comfortable with it. Let your body breathe overnight. These small, mindful habits can make a significant difference in how fresh and comfortable you feel every day. Dermatologists advise switching into a fresh, clean pair of underwear before bedtime rather than sleeping in the same pair worn all day. The ideal choice is cotton or any breathable material that encourages airflow and helps draw moisture away from the body. For those open to it, skipping underwear entirely at night can be an even better option, allowing your skin to breathe freely. This practice can minimize irritation, keep sensitive areas drier, and help you feel refreshed and comfortable by morning. After adopting this habit myself, I noticed a subtle yet meaningful improvement in how I feel when I wake up. It's a small change that surprisingly feels indulgent and helps set a positive tone for the day ahead. Let's move to something else that's commonly overlooked: cleaning the bathroom trash bin. Most of us have probably neglected this task at some point without even realizing its impact. For years, I didn't think twice about the small trash bin next to my toilet. I used it for convenience. It held tissues, cotton swabs, hygiene items, and other miscellaneous items I tossed in regularly. My cleaning routine was basic. Empty it once it was full, then forget about it. However, I had no idea that this seemingly innocent-looking bin could be silently undermining my efforts to keep the bathroom clean. Here's the issue. Even small trash bins can collect odors and bacteria if they're not cleaned consistently. Each item thrown away, whether damp tissue or hygiene product, carries tiny amounts of moisture and organic material. When all of this is trapped in a covered bin, it creates a humid, warm environment perfect for bacterial growth. Eventually, this leads to a faint, yet persistent smell that lingers in the bathroom, regardless of how spotless the surfaces appear. Was genuinely surprised to discover that my supposedly clean bathroom had a subtle but noticeable odor that I had grown accustomed to. It turned out the culprit wasn't my cleaning products or habits, but the neglected bin hiding in plain sight. Fortunately, fixing this was simple and required little time or effort. Now, I make a point to empty the trash bin every few days, whether it looks full or not. Once a week, I thoroughly wipe it down, using a disinfectant spray or vinegar-based cleaner to kill bacteria and eliminate odors. For added freshness, I sprinkle a little baking soda or add a few drops of essential oil at the bottom of the bin. This entire process takes less than 5 minutes, yet it has completely changed the atmosphere of my bathroom. The space consistently smells fresh, and I've had multiple guests comment on how clean and inviting it feels. It may seem like a minor detail, but keeping your bathroom bin clean can make a significant difference in overall hygiene. Next, let's talk about an item we often overlook: our beloved bathrobes. Imagine stepping out of a warm, relaxing shower, feeling refreshed and clean. You reach for your familiar bathrobe, wrapping yourself in its soft, cozy comfort. It feels like a warm, familiar and soothing embrace, like coming home after a long day. But here's a question that might catch you off guard. When was the last time you washed that robe? If you're anything like I was, you may not even remember the last time it hit the laundry. Bathrobes have a clever way of tricking us, because we only wear them post-shower when we feel clean. It's easy to assume that since we put them on after washing, they must stay clean themselves. Unfortunately, that's not the case at all. Let me explain why. After a shower, your skin is still damp, and that moisture transfers directly into the fabric of the robe. If you leave the robe hanging in a cramped, poorly ventilated spot, that moisture gets trapped. This damp environment becomes a breeding ground for bacteria, mold, and mildew within the fabric. Even if you don't notice it immediately, over time, the robe may start to develop a subtle, musty smell. Ever catch an odd scent on your skin despite having just showered? The culprit could be your robe. You might blame your soap or deodorant, but it's often the unwashed fabric that transfers the smell back onto your body. It undermines the freshness you work so hard to achieve in your hygiene routine. Thankfully, once I realized the problem, the solution was simple and very effective. I now wash my bathrobe once every week without fail, no excuses. To make the routine easier, I bought a second robe so I can alternate between the two while one is drying. I also hang my robe in a spot that gets good airflow, such as an open rack, rather than crammed behind the bathroom door. Properly drying the robe between uses helps prevent the growth of bacteria and unpleasant odors. Now my robe smells fresh, like clean laundry, rather than like something forgotten in a closet. This slight change has made my entire post-shower routine feel more luxurious and satisfying. Wearing a clean robe that matches your fresh skin is a small joy that elevates your day. Once you adopt this habit, you'll wonder how you ever put up with the "I'll wash it later" approach. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, drop a comment with the number 3 to let me know you're still here with me. Thanks so much for taking the time to be here. I truly appreciate your presence. Now, let's dive into something that caught me totally by surprise: cleaning your underarms properly after shaving. This hygiene tip completely changed how I think about my shaving routine. Like many people, I used to believe that shaving my underarms made them automatically cleaner and fresher. After all, Removing hair reduces the surface area where sweat and odor can accumulate, right? While that's partially true, there's a crucial detail that many of us miss, which can undermine our hygiene efforts. When we shave, we're not just cutting hair. The razor also removes dead skin, deodorant residue, and some surface bacteria. That might sound like a bonus, but there's a catch you need to be aware of. All that debris doesn't just vanish. It remains on your skin unless you take the time to wash it off. If it's left there, the mix of dead cells and product buildup becomes a perfect environment for odor-causing bacteria. This means that despite shaving, you might still end up with underarms that don't feel or smell completely clean. Experts remind us that the underarm area is one of the most bacteria-heavy zones on the body. It's a warm, moist space that microbes love, and shaving can stir them up if not followed by proper care. Thankfully, solving this issue is simple if you add just one more step to your routine. Immediately after shaving, gently rinse your underarms with warm water to remove debris and residue. Then, use a soft, clean washcloth to lightly wipe the area lightly. Be gentle, as the skin is sensitive after shaving. This helps remove any leftover skin, bacteria, or deodorant particles that the razor dislodged. After rinsing, gently pat the skin. Dry with a clean towel and allow the area to breathe for a few minutes. I like to use this time for my facial skincare routine, cleansing, toning, etc., while my underarms dry naturally. Since I started doing this, my underarms feel fresher for longer, and the lingering odor I used to notice is gone. This extra post-shave rinse has made a massive difference in how clean I feel throughout the day. It's a minor adjustment, but one that unlocks a whole new level of personal freshness.